Sorry, my hotkey made me switch pages here, but I'll get back to page 166. Okay, 166. Head in the clouds. Storm clouds appear dark gray. They are so full of water droplets that little light can pass through them. What are clouds? When you look into the sky, you see amazing shapes that clouds take and how quickly those shapes change. But have you ever asked yourself what clouds are made of and why they form? And do you know there are different types of clouds? A cloud is a collection of small water droplets or ice crystals that are suspended in the air. Clouds are visible because water droplets and ice crystals reflect light. Clouds are most often associated with precipitation. However, the reality is most cloud types do not produce precipitation. How do clouds affect climates? The precipitation that falls from clouds has significant effect on the local climate. In particular, the pattern of precipitation of an area will determine the climate for the area. For instance, a desert is an area that receives less than 25 centimeters of precipitation a year, but a tropical rainforest may average 250 centimeters of precipitation a year. Clouds also affect temperatures on Earth. About 25% of the sun's energy that reaches the Earth is reflected back into space by clouds. Low altitude clouds, which are thick and reflect more sunlight, help to cool the Earth. On the other hand, thin, high altitude clouds absorb some energy that radiates from the Earth. Part of this energy is radiated back to the Earth's surface. This warms the Earth because this energy is not directly lost to space. How do clouds form? Clouds form when water vapor condenses or changes from a gas to a liquid. For water vapor to condense, two things must happen. The air must be cool to its dew point, and there must be a solid surface for which the water molecules can condense. As warm air rises in the atmosphere, it expands and cools. If the air rises high enough into the atmosphere, it cools to its dew point. Dew point is the temperature at which the rate of condensation equals the rate of evaporation. Evaporation is the change of state from liquid to gas that usually occurs at the surface of a liquid. Evaporation takes place at the surface of an ocean, lake, stream, or other body of water. Water vapor in the air can condense and form water droplets or ice crystals when the temperature is at or below the dew point. Water droplets or ice crystals form on nuclei. Water molecules condense much more rapidly when there is a solid surface on which to condense. In clouds, tiny particles called cloud condensation nuclei, or just condensation nuclei, are on the surfaces on which water droplets condense. Examples of cloud condensation nuclei include dust, salt, soil, and smoke. Clouds are most commonly made of very large numbers of very small water droplets. However, at high altitudes, where temperatures are very cold, clouds are composed of ice crystals. What is the role of the solar energy in cloud formation? The water cycle is the movement of water between the atmosphere, land, and ocean. Solar energy drives the water cycle, and therefore provides energy for cloud formation. About 50% of the sun's incoming energy is absorbed by land, by water on land surface, and by the surface water in oceans. This absorbed energy causes liquid water at the surface to become water vapor, a gas. This process is called evaporation. The water vapor rises into the atmosphere with air that has been warmed near the Earth's surface. Solar energy does not warm the surface of the Earth evenly. Unequal heating of the Earth's surface causes areas of high pressure and low pressure to form in the atmosphere. Air flows horizontally from areas of high pressure to areas of low pressure. This horizontal movement of air is called wind. Wind causes clouds to move around the Earth's surface. However, for air to be cooled to its dew point so that clouds can form, the air is pushed up or is lifted into the atmosphere. What processes cool air enough to form clouds? There are several ways in which air can be cooled to its dew point. These include frontal or orographic lifting. Frontal lifting can occur when warm air masses rise over cold air masses. Once the rising air cools to its dew point, condensation occurs and clouds form. Frontal lifting can occur when air masses of cold air slides under masses of warm air, pushing the warm air upward. The rising of air cools it to the dew point. Clouds form that often developed into thunderstorms. Orographic lifting occurs when an obstacle such as a mountain range forces masses of air upward. Water vapor in the air cools to its dew point and condenses. The cloud that forms releases large amounts of precipitation as rain or snow as they rise up the mountain. The other side of the mountain receives little precipitation. What are the three cloud shapes? You have probably noticed different shapes that clouds take as they move through the sky. Some clouds are thick and puffy, other clouds are thin and wispy. Scientists use shape as a way to classify clouds. The three classes of clouds based on shape are stratus clouds, cumulus clouds, and cirrus clouds. Stratus, the lowest clouds in the atmosphere are stratus clouds. Stratus clouds are thin and flat, and their edges are very clearly defined. Stratus is a Latin word that means layered. Stratus clouds often merge into one another and may look like a single layer that covers the entire sky. Stratus clouds are often gray. Light mist or drizzle may fall from these clouds. Fog is a type of stratus cloud that forms at or near the ground. Cumulus is a Latin word that means heap. Cumulus clouds are thick and puffy on top and generally flat on the bottom. These clouds have well-defined edges and can change shape rapidly. Some may tower high into the atmosphere where the top of the cloud sometimes flattens. Fair weather cumulus clouds are bright and white, but cumulus clouds can become dark as more and more water droplets or ice crystals are added to the cloud. Cumulus clouds can produce severe weather. Thunder, lightning, and heavy precipitation are associated with cumulus clouds. Cirrus clouds. Cirrus is a Latin word that means curl. Cirrus clouds look feathery and their ends curl. Cirrus clouds are white. Cirrus clouds form high in the atmosphere. At altitudes where cirrus clouds forms, there is little water vapor. The temperatures are very cold. As a result, these cirrus clouds are made of ice crystals rather than liquid water droplets. They do not produce precipitation that reaches the Earth's surface. What are the three types of clouds based on altitude? Scientists classify clouds by altitude as well as shape. The four classes of clouds based on altitude are low clouds, middle clouds, high clouds, and clouds of vertical development. These four classes are made up of 10 cloud types. Prefixes are used to name the clouds and begin with prefixes are used to name the clouds that belong to some of these classes. Low clouds. Low clouds form between the Earth's surface and 2,000 meters altitude. Water droplets commonly make up these clouds. The three types of low clouds are stratus, stratocumulus, and nimbostratus. There are no special prefixes used to name low clouds. However, nimbus means rain, so nimbostratus clouds are rain clouds. Middle clouds. Middle clouds form between 2,000 meters and 6,000 meters altitude. They are most commonly made up of water droplets, but may be made up of ice crystals. The prefix alto is used to name middle clouds. The two types of middle clouds are altocumulus and altostratus. High clouds. High clouds form above 6,000 meter altitude. At these high altitudes, air temperature is below freezing. Therefore, high clouds are made up of ice crystals. The prefix cirro is used to name high clouds. Cirrus, cirrocumulus, and cirrostratus are the types of high clouds. Clouds of vertical development. Clouds of vertical development can rise high in the atmosphere. Although the cloud base is at a low altitude, cloud tops can reach higher than 12,000 meters. Clouds of vertical development are commonly formed by rapid lifting of moist, warm air, which can result in strong vertical growth. There is no special prefix used to name clouds of vertical development. The two types of clouds of vertical development are cumulus and cumulonimbus. Cumulonimbus clouds have the greatest vertical development of any type of cloud. Air currents within these clouds can move upward at as much as 20 meters per second. Cumulonimbus clouds are linked to severe weather and can produce rain, hail, lightning, tornadoes, and dangerous, rapidly sinking columns of air that strike the earth. How does fog form? Water vapor that condenses near the Earth's surface is called fog. Fog forms when moist air at or near the Earth's surface cools to its dew point. Fog is simply a stratus cloud that forms at ground level. Ground fog, which is also called radiation fog, generally forms in low-lying areas on clear, calm nights. As Earth's surface cools, moist air near the ground cools to its dew point. Water vapor in the air condenses into water droplets, which form fog. Fog also forms when warm, moist air moves across cold water and is cooled to its dew point. This is how sea fog or advection fog forms. Unlike ground fog, sea fog occurs at all times of the day. Another type of fog forms when evaporation takes place into cold air that is lying over warmer water. This is called steam fog. This fog appears as steam directly above bodies of water. It occurs most commonly on cold fall mornings. Fog is a hazard because it reduces visibility. Very dense fog can reduce visibility to a few meters. Water droplets in fog scatter light. This makes objects difficult for people to see. Without visible landmarks, it is hard to judge distance and speed.